I'm so glad that you guys are joining me this morning. Welcome to my home. I am home with myself being a little under the weather, and as well as my little Hanley J. She's under the weather as well. So we're doing things remotely so we can still bring you a show and still bring you all of the great guests that we have lined up for the rest of the week. So I want to start off by saying thank you so much to all of our great sponsors. Those include Rivo Plumbing and Heating, R7 Reclaimed, Impact Life Blood Center, Lutheran Living, and our friends at CBI, Toyota of Muscatine, Impact Athletic Performance, Suntan City Muscatine, Real Estate Resource Associates, Muscatine Power and Water, Unity Point Health, Trinity Muscatine, and of course Hy-Vee Muscatine. The rest of the crew and our guests are still at Hy-Vee, and they've been so gracious to accommodate us for so long and are a big part of helping bring all of these important issues, all of these important people and organizations right to your computer screens, TV, everything like that. So we are so grateful to all of our sponsors. This morning, I'm going to be meeting with actually some folks from one of our sponsors, which is exciting, from Muscatine Power and Water. So this morning, Ryan Streck and Paul Burback are both out at Hy-Vee with my crew. Hopefully they're treating you well out at Hy-Vee and are spoiling you with my regular Starbucks and stuff. Did you guys get a Starbucks?
They didn't even offer that.
We're having some water, which is wonderful, but it's what we requested too.
Oh, okay. So at least they're taking care of you. I'm so glad that you guys were able to still make it this morning. I'm sorry that I'm not there right next to you, but I'm excited to hear about some of the stuff going on at MPW. As a customer, it's exciting to hear all of the new things that you guys are doing at MPW and the things that you're doing to really bring us into kind of the next era. I saw a ton of green on the stuff that Mitch sent over for me to look over last night. And that's exciting. A lot of people are really looking for how we can be more green and save energy and do things like that. So I'm excited to hear about what Ryan and Paul have to talk about. And they are going to just like take it away. You guys are going to be talking green.
All right, thank you. First off, really impressed with the crew here, able to make this happen virtually so quickly. It was great watching them scramble. I'm Ryan Streck. I'm a Director of Utility Service Delivery with Muscatine.
I'm Paul Burback, Energy Services Advisor with Muscatine Power and Water.
And we're going to walk you through some slides talking about choosing green, what we're doing, what you can do, energy efficiency. And with that, we can just get started. How does that sound?
Let's do it.
All right. I thought about this on the way over. Today's election day, and by enrolling in MPW's Choose Green Muscatine program, that's really a vote for renewable energy. And we'll talk about how it works a little bit. But basically, you can choose the level at which you want to participate in the program, which can be very inexpensive. But when you participate in that program, it drives demand for renewable energy. And then we bring that renewable energy into Muscatine to provide power. The average home uses about 850 kilowatts a month. So if you are a 25% participant, that's only going to cost you about $25 a year. If you're a 50%, $50, and 100% would be $100. And at the end of that year, you get a nice certificate suitable for framing that shows your participation. And mine was a little higher, so I need to get after the kids about leaving the lights on. But I'm happy to be a part of that program. And on the next slide, Paul can walk us through how those, what we call RECs, renewable energy credits, actually work.
Yeah, very good. So yeah, our South Fork Wind Farm, which is located in southwest Minnesota, as it generates electricity every 1,000 kilowatt hours, generates one renewable energy certificate. So you think about one renewable energy certificate, that's 1,000 kilowatt hours. Each one of those renewable energy certificates are serialized. Those then get deposited into our account, which is tracked through the Midwest Renewable Energy Tracking System. And then from there, our participants, depending on their level of participation, as you said, 25%, 50%, or 100%, depending on your level of participation and your home's energy consumption, will determine how many of those RECs we retire on your behalf through our Choose Green Muscatine, our Choose Green Muscatine program. And then at the end of the year, we will retire those RECs on your behalf. You will get a certificate and a nice little window cling that you can put in your car or your window at home, just to show that you are, as you mentioned, voting for cleaner renewable energy.
Thanks, Paul.
Very cool.
Our next topic is going to be our EV1. It's our electric vehicle that we purchased to read meters with here in town, and we drove it out here today. And one thing I like to say is I always assumed this was how it worked, but I found out it does work this way. There's no motor that has to heat up so you finally get heat after you get to work and you don't need it. When you turn it on, it's like an electric hair dryer, and it's warm right away, which was really nice this morning. So our electric vehicle has been working out really well for us. We use it to read meters, so it's a lot of in-town driving, which is typically where you don't see good performance with your car. We pulled the statistics from September. In September, we drove 540 miles, mostly in town. If you remember, it was a pretty warm September, so it was using a lot of air conditioning, I just assume. But anyway, with the charging, it only used 175 kilowatt hours. So with our residential rate, that's $17.26. So if you equate that to $3 a gallon, we're getting 94 miles a gallon. And it was funny, I did that calculation, and marketing must have done it, and we ended up with that on the slide, but we didn't even collaborate on that. That was our real world and our estimate, and it came out exactly right. Well, so I guess for that calculation, it's great gas prices are high. So anyway, Paul, do you want to talk about our early adopter rebates?
Yeah, so to kick off our electric vehicle rebate program, we started off with 5 $1,500 rebates. We called it our early adopter program. We went through those rebates. I would say it took a little while to get going, but once the first one was, filled out and turned in, it was like a snowstorm. And so we issued all 5 of those, and Gage was kind enough to add 5 more to that program. And just like the first 5, we've had great participation. We are down to one $1,500 rebate that is still available. So if you're in the market looking for an electric vehicle or a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, we have one $1,500 early adopter rebate available. After that, we have a $300 rebate. So we are still incentivizing electrification in the vehicle market.
We started looking at the EV statistics about a year ago. And at that time, I think in Muscatine County, there was maybe 6 or 8.
Yeah, it was pretty low. Yeah.
Pretty low. But anyway, at this point, we just checked in and we're over 60 now.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. The Iowa DOT has a nice website that you can go to, and we can check by county to see how that number is increasing. And so we track that. It's important to us to know not only from our perspective, but if we have electric vehicles that are going into neighborhoods, we need to make sure that we have our systems sized appropriately to meet those needs of that growing energy load. So.
The next topic we were going to discuss was stability and pricing. So it's a nice segue from EV right into our home energy loads. So on the EV side, electric rates are very stable. And we've seen gas prices all over the place in the last, not only year, but the last 10 years. So if you have maybe a fleet of vehicles in town and you want to go to all EV, that's something to consider. It's one thing you don't have to budget for is what's gas going to be. You're pretty sure what the electric rate's going to be. So we think that could be helpful. But moving into like home heating and air conditioning season. Last year in February, we had Winter Storm Uri. And during that storm, prices got really crazy with energy. And that was because a lot of the energy production, gas production down south isn't designed for sub-zero temperatures. So it was just shut down. We don't have those problems up here. We designed for 100 degrees and minus 30 degrees because that's what we have up here. So when you talk about stability in pricing, we don't look for any rates to change. We're very confident in our rates. Our fuel supply has locked down. That pricing has been locked down for some time. So we're not worried about a rate increase out of the blue in Muscatine. But we do have some energy saving tips, and there's nobody better to give those than our energy service advisor.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So yeah, this is probably a segment we could talk about for 3 hours instead of 10 minutes. But there are so many ways and so many opportunities, not only in your home, but in businesses to save energy. And it can be as easy as adding insulation, replacing your incandescent lights with LED lights. With winter coming up, of course, we want to seal out that airflow that might be leaking through doors and windows. So weatherization is big. Think about your body on a cold, windy day. That airflow, that air blowing through your sweater is going to take that heat away. But if you have, take that out of there. If you have a windbreaker on, that wind is going to stop that airflow. So you have not only the air sealing, but you also have the insulating factor of that sweater. So those are some things to think about with your home. So stopping air flow, adding insulation. When the sun is out, open those curtains, allow that sun to warm that space. Then at night, we want to make sure that we close those windows. Heat seeks cold, so that warm air that's in your home is going to move towards those cold windows. So adding that curtain, essentially adding a blanket to your windows, helps reduce that flow of warm air to cold. Another opportunity right now is your heat registers. Make sure they're clear. Make sure there's no rugs over them, no furniture. Give those an opportunity to blow that warm air, conditioned air into your home. And then ceiling fans are another opportunity. We, of course, think of ceiling fans as only something we would use in the summertime, but there is a button that you can reverse the airflow, and so the fan will essentially run backwards. So the way to know that it's operating in the right direction is in the summer, we want those fan blades to be pushing air down so that we get that flow of air across our skin. That's what provides us that cooling effect. In the wintertime, reverse those fan blades so that it's actually pushing air up towards the ceiling. That then will create that warm air that's rising naturally to wash back down the exterior walls, and we'll feel that warmth again. So, it's personal preference. Some people don't like that airflow feel, and if you do feel that, it may feel chilly. So those are just some opportunities that are low cost, easy to do. You could do it, in today if you wanted to. So there are lots of opportunities for energy savings, and those are just a few of those.
One thing that makes me think of, Paul, is when we do have those really hot events or those really cold events, people will think their bill's going up. Actually, the rate's staying the same. The usage is what's increasing. And there's other things we can do to help with that too, like budget billing. But just give us a call, and we're happy to work with our customers and be easy to do work with and be a good neighbor. One other thing, speaking of bills, our insert this month is going to be our MPW News, which talks about our renewable energy that's coming to Muscatine, our balanced approach to keeping power production in Muscatine, and also these tips on will my MPW be stable this winter? Spoiler, yes. Your bill will be stable, but then it also has a lot of those tips that Paul just talked about, plus more. And if you go to our website, you can always find more information on how to save money and use our services wisely. So our next slide is thinking about solar. And this is really starting to pick up. And there's some homes, I could mention areas of town, but you see them. You see the solar panels on the front of the house or the side of the house. And that's becoming more and more popular with people who want to be, they want to promote sustainability. They want to be in control of their energy usage. But one thing MPW really wants you to know is we want to be a partner. When you're putting in a solar panel, likely you're dealing with a vendor or contractor that's from out of town or maybe even out of state. You cannot expect a contractor to know the service rules of every utility that they're working with. Yeah, I mean, you think it would be the same, but it's very complicated. And so it's early on that we're in the conversation, especially Paul, and then we can make sure there's no surprises. Renewable energy solar, we're behind it. We're planning to install a lot of solar locally here in Muscatine. But what's important is that you bring us in on the conversation. Again, I'm repeating myself, I know, but make sure there's no surprises. We want it to be a good experience and have all the information up front. And Paul, you want to talk a little bit about solar?
Yeah. So as you mentioned, please give us a call first. We do have an application that we ask customers fill out, and that gives us an opportunity to review our system to make sure transformers are appropriately sized. We have some disconnect requirements that we need, and that is for the safety of our line workers, and that goes safety to the fire department as well. In the event that there was an emergency. So there are some things that we need to make sure are in place so that you can tie into the grid that way. We have a net metering program, and as you mentioned, not every utility has a net metering program. So so you might not know all the benefits that you might get with solar. And so the other thing is we want to know what size, so we can run those calculations to make sure that there'll be no voltage issues for you or your neighboring customers as well. So we can also run numbers on what your solar panel should generate in Muscatine. We can compare that to our rates, give you maybe a better sense of what to expect your monthly bills to look like with solar.
Yeah, and that's a great point. It's really about setting the expectation and knowing what you're getting into. I've talked to a couple people that put solar in, and they're glad they did it. They're very excited about it, but there was things they didn't think about. With solar, you produce excess energy in what we call the shoulder months when load is light, like in the spring and fall. You're not running your air conditioner, you're not running your furnace, so you're overproducing. And think of that as going into like a little savings account. Well, then when summer comes and it's really hot, you're not going to produce that much, but that's okay because you got that savings account you're going to draw from that's going to smooth out that bill. Well, if you put your solar array in July, well, it's too late. You don't have that savings account. It's still working correctly, but you end up with a deficit usually. So now you've got your solar bill, you've got your still have an electric bill, and sometimes it's more than people have prepared for or thought about. Not everybody can pay cash for the whole system up front. And so it's just really good to lean on the experience of the developer of MPW. And really, if you have a neighbor that has one, it's great to talk to them to see how it went. Another installation I can think of, they went pretty large. They wanted to meet most of their energy demands. But it was actually more than our equipment was sized for to take, to put that into the savings account. We had to be able to have that energy go both directions. So we had to increase the size of some of our equipment. So there was what looks like hidden costs there. Unless you do that planning ahead, we do that study and make sure that we know. And the cost for that is, I think, $100, the application.
Right. Yep, the application fee is $100, and by no means covers all the costs that our engineering team puts into this work, but certainly is well worth knowing that our system is designed appropriately for your size, and there will be no additional costs moving forward. So yeah.
Perfect. So I'll play host here. Paul, how do you think we're doing on customer education and working with our customers? Is there maybe an award that we got recently?
Might have been. So yes, we're one of 70 public power utilities out of 2,000 that received the Smart Energy Provider Award. It is our second time winning this award. It's a 2-year designation. So yeah, we were recognized for our energy efficiency program, our distributed energy program, our customer education program, environmental and sustainability. So there are a number of factors and a lot of people within the utility that contributed to us winning this award. So it was nice to be recognized by the American Public Power Association for all the hard work we're doing. And I'll even say that goes towards our customers. A lot of our large customers are doing these programs as well, and that helps drive these great numbers in the award that we got. So.
All right, Ashley, that gets us through the information we prepared, and
Yes.
we can take a break and let you get a word in edgewise.
Yeah, you guys are just on it, man. I feel like I don't have a job this morning, but I'll shoot it back to you for the weather here in a minute, but I appreciate it so much. One of the things that it's funny because even though I pay attention and I keep up with the things that you're doing at MPW, there's things that I learned during that discussion and with solar energy and things, and even the small things that we can do inside of our homes to really help out with some of those costs before we even go to something like a solar panel. There are so many things that we can go. Like, who knew that you could reverse your fan blades? Am I the only one that was like, what? So I think it's important that we I think it's important that we pay attention to some of the awesome information, and having MPW be a really good neighbor and always putting out this information is really appreciated, guys. I know that sometimes you probably feel like what we do is like, well, is anybody even reading this stuff? But we are reading this stuff, and we do learn things from all of the hard work that you guys put in at MPW. So we appreciate you guys. MPW has a super awesome new website. I mean, I guess it's not brand new anymore, but like a couple months old, but so many resources and so much easier for us to navigate through, to find all of the information, like information on solar panels, or if we're thinking about, oh gosh, winter's coming, what can I do to help reduce my bill? Because we all have those worries. We all think about those things, but MPW does a great job, and I love the new website and being able to really access a lot of those resources easy.
And I will say, I'll put a plug in for our marketing department and for the website redesign, is that through the APPA, which is that American Power or Public Power Association, they also won 3 awards that they were recognized at the conference here a couple weeks ago for all of that they do as well. So they did a fantastic job on that, and were recognized, and it didn't go unnoticed.
Yeah, and thank you very much for the kind words. Our goal is really to be easy to do business with. And on the website, some of the great things we've done recently were the hydrant flushing map. You can see what we're flushing, where our crews are that day, if there's a chance that you might see some discolored water at your residence or business. We also have the live outage map, which now it shows up when we have an outage. And what that helps is you don't have to get a hold of us. You know that we know because it's on the map, right? But if you have important information about a pole down, an accident, anything like that, we still want the phone call. We want to hear about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so glad that I get to be an MPW customer now. I used to live out in the country a little bit, and I was always calling, wondering like, okay, when are you guys coming out here? So I'm glad that we moved, and that's the reason we moved. It was just because I wanted to be an MPW customer. So you guys are a big deal. But anyways, congratulations on the awards that you guys received at MPW. We're excited just as a community that you guys are working so hard to make sure that our needs are met, but also that we're moving in the right direction when it comes to things like solar energy and making sure that we're being smart energy providers, right? And that we are doing that in our community. So thank you again for all of that. It's election day. Have you guys already went and voted, or are you guys going to do that after the show this morning?
I went yesterday, and I'm glad I did. They actually have a new, what they call express ballot machine. So instead of trying to stay in the circles, I was never good at that, even as a kid. Now you can just press the buttons and then hit next, and you're done. It was great.
Wow. Yeah, I'll have to do mine.
Wow, weird.
I did not get there this morning.
Yeah. Well, I am so glad that you guys came and joined the show, and that you are our guinea pigs for making this all work while I'm homesick. And I appreciate you guys being such amazing guests, and even Ryan, my new co-host, just guiding things right through. Paul's going to hit us up with the weather later and sports, but it is awesome that you guys. I appreciate you being so patient with us this morning, and for coming on the show and being there without me. I'm sorry that you didn't get your Starbucks. I'll work on that. But I'm glad that they worked on all your other requests since I'm not there to do that. But thank you guys so much for coming on and for all the good information. If you guys want more information, if you're sitting at home and you're intrigued about any of the things that they talked about today, there is more information about all of these things on their website, and you can really do some digging and find out if solar panels are right for you, or there's a whole list of things that you can do at home to prepare for the winter. So make sure you go check out their website and find all of that great information. Thank you guys so much for coming on this morning. I appreciate you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
Yep. Awesome. I think we're going to go to a quick commercial and sort of end the show for now, unless my team wants to tell me. Is Isaiah there this morning?
No, he is not. He's off somewhere.
What in the heck? Well, there's a big baseball fundraiser. If you're into baseball or not, if you're just into all the youth programs that are around our community, the Muskie Baseball Academy had a huge fundraiser last night at the Market Grill, and they're going to be drawing for some prizes and stuff later on their Facebook page. So be watching out for that. If you guys took part in the fundraiser last night or trivia night at Hy-Vee in the Market Grill, you can maybe win some more prizes. So be on the lookout on Muskie Baseball Academy's Facebook page later on today to see if you are a winner of one of their extra prizes and stuff like that. So I am excited to be with you guys today. Thank you for being patient at home with us as well, as I kind of heal up and mend my sweet little daughter. And but we're going to be coming to you every day still, and making sure that all of the guests who have spots, we have a good lineup for you. People doing amazing things. The holidays are coming up, so everybody's out there doing amazing things. We're so glad that we can make this work virtually. Thank goodness for that. Until tomorrow, when I will see you all again, don't forget that kindness is free. So spread that stuff wherever you go.
Hello, I'm Tennille with R7 Reclaimed, located in Grandview, Iowa. We mix old and new goods together so that you can find the story of your home. When you get here, You will find a mix of old and new goods that are put together so seamlessly you won't even be able to tell which is which. And not only that, it's going to speak to you and your home. We are worth the road trip. We call it the R7 road trip. So punch in 337 Cemetery Lane, Grandview, Iowa into that GPS and make the road trip.